Hello Ramen Nation, Chris Cobain here, and I am here to bring you guys week number 8, I think, of the National Pokemon Association. The Philadelphia Braviaries will be taking on the Seattle Staraptors and Coach Gearheart. So at the time of recording this video, I'm pretty sure Gear is actually the #1 team in the National Pokemon Association. He's 6-1 to my 5-1. He hasn't had his official bye week yet. And he's got the highest differential in the league at, I believe, plus 22, which is a lot. We're at like we're in like the high teens, or maybe 20 actually itself, but we're up there. But Gear is a really good battler, and he's got a really good team. And I know I say this a lot. I kind of say it almost every week, but this very well might be the toughest challenge we've had on the season to date. This guy is incredibly good. The Braviaries are coming off our first, I believe, my first ever 6-0 in the NPA history, which is cool. Where we got my boy Cough Egregious to do some work. That was really fun. But this week, we kind of have to bring that hype down. Can't dwell too much on, yes, I got the 6-0 last week. Differential, great, because Gear's actually gotten 2 straight 6-0s. Which has helped immensely for his differential, obviously, plus 12 over the last 2 weeks. Doesn't get better. So this is a very important match. He's not a divisional opponent, but this could very well could be pretty big later in the season. So let's take a look at this team. As per usual, like I said, is insane. We start off with Sylveon. Sylveon is the bulkiest and overall the best competitive evolution that there is. Obviously the fairy one gets Pixelate is what he'll be running with Hyper Voice. It is a cleric with a heal belt. It is a phenomenal Wish Passer with high base HP. Really works out for a lot of his Pokemon. It's actually kind of terrifying, to be honest. Has access to Shadow Ball. Has access to Psyshock and Psychic. Has access obviously to Hidden Power Fire, which if he runs Sylveon just like Florges early in the year. Fully expect a Hidden Power Fire if he does decide to bring Sylveon, which I more than expect him to do so. Mamoswine, as of right now, Thundurus Therian is your #1 leader in National Pokemon Association MVP. #2 on that list, Mamoswine. So this is 1 and 2. Mamoswine, I believe, on the year is 12-2 to Thundurus is 11-1. Same differential, but I have a higher survival percentage, so that's what puts me ahead. Mamoswine, you guys already know, is a monster, and something that matches up incredibly well against my team. Earthquake, Icicle Crash are givens. Stone Edge, obviously knockoff. Stealth Rock Setter, Ice Shard. He gets Freeze Dry for water types. Doesn't really need it for this match, especially considering Empoleon's weak to the ground, and Free Marine is far bulkier on the special side than on the physical side, but could run it. Obviously also gets Taunt as well. Very good mod. Super terrifying to my team. 100%. He Ice Shards Zygarde. He Ice Shards Thundurus. He Earthquakes Empoleon. He Ice Shards Dugtrio. Prima can't take 2 Earthquakes. You know, Azelf can't switch into Icicle Crash or Knockoff. Cough Egregious, while walling him decently, does not like to switch into Knockoff and also can't really heal outside of Pain Split. So very terrifying. Serena, one of his 2 forms of hazard control on this team. It is going to be his Rapid Spinner this week. Serena's a pretty good mod. It's definitely a decent one, and one that I kind of expect to come, because his other hazard controls Mantine, and I have Thundurus. We'll see. Obviously, Trop Kick is its signature, very good attack, pretty strong, lowers attack, so it can use it pretty easy on switch-ins, even to like into Scizor, lower attack. It gets U-turn, it gets Rapid Spin, as I said, it gets Play Rough, High Jump Kick. It's got really, actually a ton of moves. It gets Synthesis, it can be run Assault Vest. It is fairly bulky. It does take 1,000 arrows pretty well, which is something to note. It is actually his best 1,000 arrow switch-in on his entire team. Save like a ground resistant Eviolite type. No, we'll get to that. Who knows? Mantine is second of 2 to Foggers. Mantine's a good mon. I don't really expect it this week, to be honest. He's got a chance to bring it. It does wall Scizor. It does a decent job of fighting Zygarde. But it's really passive. I literally just ran Hidden Power, Electric, and Polion last week for Pelipper, so he's going to know that. It loses 1v1 to Primarina. So I don't know, but, you know, mainly Thunderous. He could bring it as a response to Scizor, 100%, or if he does bring it, it will be really physically offensive, but it'll give him a tough time against Thunderous, but we'll see how it goes. Bronzong is some Mantine again. Obviously, Mantine's also Defogger, by the way. I already said that. Bronzong, really super bulky one. One of my favorites, something I utilized a lot, no Ross Yu. Really bulky Stealth Rock setter. Obviously, it likes to run Toxic. It gets Gyro Ball, it gets Gyro Ball, which is pretty hard. It gets Heavy Slam, which can be very powerful. It gets Earthquake, which would be useful for Empoleon. Very bulky in general. Does a very good job of fighting my team for the most part. Again, it is weak to Zygarde, even if it's Levitate, so there's that. It doesn't fight Thunders very well, and it doesn't fight Empoleon very well, even if it has Earthquake. It's kind of struggles. So we'll see how it goes with that. Electrode. Electrode's a good mod. I think the buffed at this gen, 150 base speed now as opposed to 140, which is actually a pretty big deal. It's decently strong. It can be kind of annoying. It gets Thunder Wave, obviously. It can run Discharge, Thunderbolt. Its moveset's kind of lacking. If he does run it, he will be running a Hidden Power. Probably Ice for Zygarde and Dugtrio more than likely, and then we'll see what else he wants to run there. It obviously has Static, so that can be very annoying as well. Mega Sharpedo. Sharpedo's a really interesting mon in this draft league because you have to Mega turn 1, just like last year. So you can't actually get the protect. You can't protect with Sharpedo, meaning he can never get the speed boost. It's not possible. But be that as it may, Sharpedo is not a Pokemon to be trifled with. 105 base speed. Obviously, the speed buff turn 1 now helps it because it gets that 105 turn 1, meaning as soon as it Megas on the turn it Megas, it is faster than Thundurus, which is actually a really big deal. Strong Jaw, obviously, a very strong Waterfall, Crunch, Ice Fang. It gets Psychic Fangs now. The new move for Bruxus, so that gets the Strong Jaw boost as well. It can run Special. It can have Scald. I don't expect that, but this thing hits very hard. I do have ways to respond to it. Pretty cool ways to respond to it. So we'll see if he decides to run or not. Definitely could. Como-O, which is I don't know, second or third biggest threat on the on his team for me this week. Como-O is an incredibly bulky dragon, base 85 speed. It is it can be run physical or special. Obviously, it gets Clanging Scales at Dragon Attack as its signature. He does get Focus Blast as well. It can run a Dragon Dance set with Outrage or Dragon Claw. It only gets Sky Uppercut on the physical side for fighting, so that's kind of lackluster. He does get Flamethrower for Scizor. He gets Flash Cannon. He gets Poison Jab for Primarina. So definitely, if this thing sets up a Dragon Dance on me, could be very problematic. It can set up pretty easily against like a bulky variant of Scizor or most Thunderous sets actually. So we'll see how it goes. Definitely terrifying. And then the #1 threat this week, without question, is going to be Alolan Marowak. Alolan Marowak is a nightmare for a lot of reasons. Obviously, it still gets that Thick Club. It can run Thick Club, which means it's going to have its attack stat doubled more or less. It gets Lightning Rod, so Thundurus can't touch it too much. It is a Ghost, so it cannot be trapped by Dugtrio. Remember, Ghost cannot be trapped under any circumstance. So despite the fact that it is Fire type and Dugtrio would hit it very hard, I cannot trap it. In fact, he's got really nothing I can trap on this entire team, which is kind of crazy actually, considering Bronzong is going to be Levitate more than likely. But obviously Flare Blitz hits incredibly hard shot. I have not a single Ghost resistance on my entire team, which is rough for sure. And this guy is probably the strongest Ghost attacker in existence with the Thick Club. So Shadow Bone will hit very hard. Flare Blitz will hit me incredibly hard. It gets Earthquake as well, which hits pretty hard in most situations. And of course I can run Stealth Rocks, Will-O-Wisp as well. Very tough Pokemon. I don't really have a switch into it at all. You'll see how I decided to kind of game plan for him momentarily. Type Gnaw, as I mentioned before, remember this is not Silvally, and in fact, I actually said earlier Type Gnaw if it's a weird type. My apologies there, I'm sure someone caught that mistake. Type Gnaw cannot be a different type. It has to be normal. Only Silvally can run the memory. So Type Null is a very interesting Pokemon. It almost has the same stat line as Silvally, 95 base to all aside from speed, which I believe is in the mid-50s. Note that if it's Eviolite, it is actually bulkier than Porygon 2. It just can't heal. It does get a wide variety of moves. Obviously, it gets Tri-Attack. It gets Bolt Beam coverage. So he's got options for it. I really would be surprised to see Type Null this week, but who knows? I've been shocked in the past. And then he rounds out his team with the probably the first Pokemon that's on the end of the list this season where I fully 1000% expected, and that's going to be a Selgor. Selgor is a really, really underrated mon. 145 base speed, which is very fast. It is solidly offensive. It gets Bug Bugs, obviously. It gets Sludge Bomb and Giga Drain, which will help it very heavily against Primarina. It can easily run Him Power Fire. It's a very good lead set with spikes. And it actually also gets Water Shuriken as priority. Not that that's relevant against my team, really, unless he's really afraid of Magmortar. But otherwise, not really that relevant. Either way, though, a Selgor's a really good mon, really, really fast. And I do expect it. I'd be surprised if he didn't bring a Selgor this week. But he's got a lot of options. So in terms of what I think he's bringing this week, it's really up in the air. His team really threatens mine with a lot of things. But the thing that I have to fall back on is that he can't run everything. He's only got 6 to run. So I don't really have a set 6. Options this week are, honestly, everything except for Electrode and Type Null. To me, I think everything on his team except for Type Null and Electrode are very, very possible. And I don't really have a 6 that I'd say he's 100% bringing. If I had to pick ones that he's 100% bringing that I think he's bringing, I can't do 6, but I'm pretty sure he'll bring Sylveon. I'm pretty sure he'll bring Mamoswine. I'm pretty sure he'll bring Komao, and I'm pretty sure he'll bring Marowak. I do expect him to bring a Hazard Control, whether it be Mantine or Serena. And other than that, it's up in the air. I do expect Selgor to some degree, but if he does do that, if he runs a Selgor and everything else I said, he doesn't run Sharpedo, and he doesn't run Bronzong either. So we'll see how it goes. He's got a lot of options. So we have to game plan for a lot of stuff this week. I feel like we did a really good job of it, and I feel like we have a 6 that's ready to fight. So this is actually my last week's team, as you can see from Conf Egregious, but leading off this week, yet again, will be Sizzler. We did remember the nicknames. Actually, I reminded Reiki about the nicknames, and then he forgot to put them on him, and then he decided to go back and nickname him anyway, so we'll take it. So Sizzler this week is going to be a pretty important Pokemon to our team. He's going to be running Impish, Swarm, obviously going to be switched into Technician when I Mega the Scissorite. And he's running Bullet Punch, Roost, Knockoff, and U-Turn with the EV spread of 164 HP, 252 defense, and 92 speed. The 92 speed is going to allow him to outspeed max speed Alola Marowak. That is going to be very, very important, and obviously Knockoff is for him as well. And also it's Bronzong. But if he's even without any investment in my attack, a Knockoff does a solid about 90% to a Marowak. It is a guaranteed OHKO after Stealth Rock. Stealth Rock's going to be very important in this match, by the way. But also it's Bronzong. It can also do solid work against whatever else on his team. Obviously knocking off a potential Life Orb on some things, knocking off something on a Mantine, or a Mamoswine, excuse me. That could be very important, whether he's Bandit or Life Orb or Assault Vest, actually, to take a Focus Blast from Thundurus. Or what have you, very, very important. Obviously, Bullet Punch is for general power. It hits Sylveon and Mamoswine mostly. U-Turn, obviously pivoting, it hits Serena very hard. It one-shots Sharpedo. It allows me to pull momentum. Very, very, very normal set outside the knockoff thing. Here's our one true answer to Mamoswine. Life Orb Mamoswine does not 2-tap with Earthquake. It does come very close, and I believe after Rocks, he has a chance of doing it. But of course, even if I switch it on one, I threaten him with Bullet Punch. So we'll see how that goes. If he decides to go against running an offensive item, excuse me, and decides to run Choice Scarf for some reason, or Assault Vest, as I said, for Thundurus, then Earthquake does like 35-ish%. So he's not even a threat at all. So we'll see what happens. Coming in at number 2 this week, we have my boy, the Green Arrow. Zygarde is making his return after taking last week off. We are running a really cool set. I'm very happy with this set this week. He's going to be Jolly. We wanted to run Adamant, but unfortunately Adamant doesn't outspeed Como or Break, obviously, and he is Choice Banded, which is going to be very, very fun, running 1,000 Arrows, Extreme Speed, Iron Tail, and Outrageous. He has no answer to this whatsoever. 1,000 Arrows will decimate pretty much everything on his entire team. Extreme Speed for general power and priority over things like Sharpedo and other stuff like that. Iron Tail is for Sylveon, Outrage is for Como, and to a degree Serena. I don't ever really see an option to click Outrage in this match, to be completely honest with you, with what he's got, because this guy is our #1 response to Marowak. He can actually, even Thick Club, he can switch in on any Marowak hit. Excuse me, he's 68 HP, 252 attack, and 188 speed, which allows him to outspeed Como. But he can't take any one hit from even a Thick Club Marowak, and obviously 1,000 Arrows. Only one real switch in to 1,000 Arrows on Gear's team, which is the Serena. Sylveon, if it's fully defensive, can take 2. Mantine can probably take 2 as well, but he doesn't really want to take the hits that much. Serena takes about, if he's generally bulky, he takes about 30%. I don't really have an answer. There's not really going to be an option for me to click Outrage here, because if I do click Outrage, I kill Como, assuming he's in on that, but then I die to Sylveon. Or I die to Ice Shard Mamoswine, or I die to Ice Fang Mega Sharpedo. He gets to take his pick. But unless he's like lost all those, or I don't really need Zygarde and Como's really threatening me, I don't expect to click that. But the general idea with this is just to spam 1,000 Arrows. Excuse me, I'm having issues right now. I apologize. If we can do a certain work to his team, Iron Tail can be actually very, very big. He doesn't have a lot of answers to Iron Tail, to be honest. Mantine and Bronzong being his 2 real ones, and a Marowak as well, but he's not going to switch into that. Iron Tail does, I believe, I don't think it one-hits Sylveon, but it's really close. It one-hits Mamoswine, it 2-hits Serena. It's going to do a lot to Sharpedo, it's going to do a lot to Como as well. So if we do the right damage against a lot of his team, we can actually click Iron Tail and make sure that Sylveon can't come in for free, which would be very good. So coming in third here, 2 weeks ago, actually starting off 3 weeks ago, Dugtrio got his first ever break. 2 weeks ago, Scizor got his first ever break, and of course last week, Zygarde and Azelf as well got their first ever breaks. So the only Pokemon on our team who is yet to have a week off is Thundurus. So this week, Rake and I decided that we were going to go ahead and, yeah, right, we're running Thundurus every single week. Confirmed. We're never not running him, okay? Debated you. Ryan Gecki, my boy, we're never going to not run him. He's too good. He's going to be very, very important this week as well. I really enjoyed this set, actually. So we're going to be running Modest, Voltage, obviously, and we're going back to our roots from the beginning of the year and running Fight EMZ on this because I feel like we need to. He's running Thunderbolt, Nasty Plot, Hidden Power, Flying to have Stab, and Focus Blast. Remember, he is Modest here, and he's running 252 Special Attack, 20 Special Defense, and 236 Speed, which is also going to allow him to outspeed Como, even at Modest. More or less, if I get rid of Mamoswine and Sharpedo, I win. Period. He's got no response to this if I can stop him. Mamoswine actually can't even one-shot me with Ice Shard, so there's that, but also he has a Cellcore who's faster and Electrode as well, so I can't really afford to take that kind of chip. But with a Nasty Plot up, this guy just runs through, Thundurus just runs through Gear's team. Shocking, I know, it's Thundurus. So Thunderbolt is obvious, super obvious. Hits Sylveon, hits Bronzong, hits Sharpedo, hits a Cellcore, whatever, you know, very, very, very clear. Hidden Power Flying is going to be for Como and Serena more so than anything else. It also can touch Marowak, but not too hard. And Focus Blast is for Mamoswine and actually for Bronzong, because a +2 all-out pummeling actually one-shots fully specially defensive Bronzong. We saw that happen, which is kind of crazy. So he does need help to sweep. If he's running Sharpedo, got to get rid of that completely. If he's running Mamoswine, I would like to get rid of that completely. If he's running Marowak, I need to chip it. And then we set up. We can set up against quite a lot on his team. Sylveon can't one-tap me with Hyper Voice unless it's Specs, which it could be. Serena can't do monkey crap to me. Manti can't do monkey crap to me. Bronzong can't do crap. Electrode can't do too much. Acelgor actually struggles. I believe Acelgor's best attack form is Sludge Bomb, and that does about 50-ish. So, of course, he's faster than me, too, so I can't really set up against it. So, but if we can get this guy set up and do the right chip damage, MVP of the league, boy. He can pick up some more kills and keep that going. We're going to hope. We'll see. We will see how it goes. Moving on to the fourth mon this week, we are running my boy King DDD. It is Empoleon, and again, Empoleon's going to be pretty pivotal this week. For a multitude of reasons. We're running Calm Torn, obviously, with leftovers. He's running Scald, Stealth Rock, Defog, and Roar. And he's running 140 HP, 116 special attack, and 252 special defense. Spread might seem a little weird, but actually 116 special attack allows us to 2-tap Mega Sharpedo, assuming we get the burn on the first Scald. Kind of random, but if we get a burn, it actually 2-taps, which would be really nice. And also can 2-tap after rocks, but doesn't have a great chance of that. But anyway, Scald's obvious general power, burn chance, obviously. Stealth Rock, super important. He does have one of the best responses to Empoleon in the game, Serena, who can switch on a pretty much, even if I run Ice Beam, it can switch into Ice Beams really easily. If it's Assault Vest, it can Rapid Spin the stuff right away. It can threaten me out with High Jump Kick. So he's got everything. Bam, he's got everything he needs to stop me. But we do have Scizor who eats Serena's face, and he doesn't have great answers to Scizor. He certainly can't let Scizor come in for free a bunch of times, because he'll just put in work with the combined ability to knock off and Bullet Punch and U-turn stuff. He just can't afford to let that happen. And then Roar is more so than anything else. It's for Sylveon, Calm Mind variant. It also can roar out things when he's gonna Wish Pass, like into if he wants to Wish Pass into Mamo. Actually, I just scalded that. But if he wants to Wish Pass into like Serena or Bronzong or Komao or something like that, who's already been weakened, I can roar and when he switches in, it'll switch them back out, and he won't get the Wish Pass. But it also stops Calm Mind Sylveon as well, and generally can just do work against his team and phase things out. Rock, super important. If I can keep him up, Roar also phases him out. His team is fairly offensive for the most part, and if he allows me to chip Marowak, specifically Mamoswine, Sharpedo, and even Sylveon, if it's offensive, Rock's would be a huge deal to his team. And obviously, he just walls Sylveon directly. And Acelgor, actually, which is very nice, because Acelgor is actually pretty big a threat. Which is kind of weird to say, but it is. Fifth mon this week, we are back-to-back on water. We are running Melody. Melody is the glue that holds this team together, I swear. Super important Pokemon this week. Scald, Reflect, Shadow Ball, Moonblast. It is going to be bold with leftovers. It is running max defense, totally 252, 252, and 4 special attack. Super necessary this week. Have to run it. I will get bodied if I don't. So this thing is a response to Sharpedo. Psychic Fang will hit pretty hard. It is a response. It is a phenomenal response to all non-Poison Jab variants of Como if he decides to run it, physical or special. It does provide us. It does provide a decent response to Mamoswine as well. Can take. I don't think it can take 2 Earthquakes. And it also does respond decently to Marowak as well. It does. I think it dies to 2 Shadow Bones if it's Thick Club. But if we can come in for free, obviously we can throw it out. So Reflect is gonna be really important. I can set that up against a lot of things. And hopefully that, like, if I can set Reflect up, it'll give me a much better opportunity for 5 turns to fight all his physical power, Mamo, Sharpedo, and Marowak, namely, and Como actually if it's physical. So we'll see. And then rounding out the team, excuse me, this week we are going to be running Navi this week. Azelf got its first break last week. It is making returns just like Zygarde is. Every week we've run Azelf. It has gotten at least 1 kill. We hope to do it again. It's going to be another pretty fun set. Just like Thundurus, it is also modest this week because it is Choice Scarf, which means it's faster than Sharpedo anyway, and obviously Sharpedo can't be Scarfed. We're running Modest, Choice Scarf, Dazzling Gleam, U-Turn, Flamethrower, and Shadow Ball. Very, very weird set. No Psychic. So I know that's definitely kind of crazy. It is running 132 HP, 252 special attack, and 124 speed, which will allow it to outspeed +1 Komao, should he decide to Dragon Dance. And all things said, he can just put in work. He's our one instant response to a Dragon Dance Komao with Dazzling Gleam, obviously one-shotting it. It is faster, obviously, than Sharpedo. It can do a lot of work there. Flamethrower does a lot of damage to Serena, to Bronzong, and to a Selgor, one-tapping it. Shadow Ball is for Bronzong as well, and Marowak more so than anything else. Obviously, Mamoswine just takes damage from all of them in general. This thing is pretty walled by Sylveon. It's almost completely walled by Sylveon. Even a Specs one, I can't really do a lot to even if it's max offense. So there is that. That's going to be a problem, obviously. But we do have U-Turn for general momentum, which would be really nice. Navi will probably be my lead this week. I don't see a reason not to, because no matter what he brings out, I can just respond to it pretty well. And that is the team builder. Pretty long. This was a pretty long video, I think. That is the team this week, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be a very, very tough match. I am very nervous for this one. As I said at the top, Gearheart, very, very good battler, and has a very, very scary team. I think we do have the Pokemon to respond to him pretty well. If I can play this team right, use the momentum to my favor with both Azelf and Scizor, and chip things correctly, then I do believe we have a phenomenal chance to walk away with another win and keep the momentum going. And hopefully that goes well. Hopefully it all goes well, and that it's actually what happens. I'm hoping for Thundurus to put in work. I'm hoping for Zygarde to get a kill or two, or 3, or 6. It doesn't matter to me. And we'll see how it goes. So thank you guys for watching again. I do appreciate it. The match, as per usual, will come out on Saturday, April 15th. So make sure you guys are there for that. Should be a very good match. I'm very excited for it and nervous at the same time. So you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you once again for watching, and I will see you guys in Week 8 as the Philadelphia Braviaries take on the Seattle Staraptors. All right? All right, peace, Ramen Nation. See you guys in the match. Peace.